I suppose the challenge for me is to see how faith holds up in a sort of environment perhaps where there isn't much food, perhaps there's quite a bit of suffering. And I've lived a charmed existence, I suppose, and haven't come into contact with too much pain in my lifetime. It'll be a real challenge for me to see how I react to that.
My major two fears, I think, the food and bitey things. Apart from getting lost, I think I'll stick to someone like super glue.
My family think it's a good thing, and the ladies' fellowship are looking forward to a slideshow. I think the only one of us who had really travelled at all before the offer of this trip was Sarah. The rest of us were really new to it.
When somebody suggested I went to Thailand on this trip, my wife said, yes, you're going, immediately, without fail. I must mention that. Thanks, Jude.
The first thing which struck me was the heat. I've never been in heat like this before. I'm beginning to get used to that now, though. I'm still very conscious and aware of the smell. I don't like to be negative about places, but Bangkok does smell.
This morning we went to the slum area in Bangkok, and it really made me think how lucky we've got it back home.
I knew it was humid over here, but because I'd expected it always to be humid, I wasn't expecting a storm, and then I was woken up with a colossal thunderbolt. And something else which has struck me about Bangkok and Thailand, going down the road, are the various shrines to Buddha along the road with flowers and drinks and food offered on them. It's been an interesting experience, but actually seeing it in real life is quite different to seeing it on television. Getting an experience firsthand, so I really valued it. How do you stop it?
It's really strange as you walk around Bangkok. Sometimes you see young kids, even babies, and they're paddling around in really dirty, smelly water. And they've got George Armani t-shirts on. Weird. One thing I remember about Bangkok is that it seems that the haves and the have-nots are so close together, just 100 yards down the street, from relative opulence to absolute poverty.
Bangkok was pretty weird, but the real point of us coming was to see how one of Tearfun's partners worked in the poor northeast of Thailand.
I think the thing that really excites me the most is the change in the values, in the way of thinking in the lives of these people as they learn to come to accept each other and to work together and to reinforce each other. That's a wonderful thing that happens. The economic development is by no means the first priority. It is an important part of helping communities growing, and that's the key thing that is going to result from this.
Do is one of the vice presidents of the foundation here. She wasn't even a Christian when she started. Now she helps run the whole project.
It's because of the grace of God that impregnates the whole organisation and causes us to be able to work together, loving each other. And it's a struggle, but it's the way that it needs to be, because it's different than the culture, but it's linked to God's grace and power. It comes in and through us to each other as a family.
One thing that really struck me is the welcome that the villagers gave us when we visited different villages. Things I really enjoyed was the tying that went on after communion.
The major impressions of this week have been, firstly, the thing which I've noticed most is a really strong sense of God's love in the people I've met up here around the region, particularly in the service we had on Sunday.
It's exciting to know that Love in Action, producing people who are interested in what the gospel has to say to them in their culture. People from the West visit here and they want to see where the mission is.
Just this afternoon, it's all just hit me really. All the work that IDF are doing here. All week we've been so busy going around seeing all the projects, and the real meaning of it all now is just really beginning to sink in. I think what has been really powerful for me is just the way in which the work that they do is just so relevant to the Thai culture, and just to see that working and just God being so relevant has been amazing really. I think when something is so very different from our own lives in England, it inevitably just makes you challenges us to the way we think and the way perhaps we're doing things and serving Christ back home. The Thai people are absolutely lovely. It's been a joke all week that I've just been smiling at them and they've been smiling at me, but they are just a lovely people.
If anybody had the chance to go on an experience team, to go ahead and do it, because it's great fun, and you definitely learn a lot from it.
Get stuck in there, it's champion.